जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा श्री चैतन्य चरिताम श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय। श्रील वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat reading. We're reading from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Antya Khanda, chapter 9, the glories of Sri Advaita Acharya. Let me just check quickly. Description of Lord Advaita's glories. This is chapter 9. Yeah. So in the last class, we heard how Srivas Thakur asked Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to please narrate. Srivas Thakur had asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to please narrate the glories of Advaita Acharya. So then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, do you know what is the identity of Advaita Acharya? Then Srivas Thakur said, Advaita Acharya is, I think he is like Prahlad Maharaj or like Sukadev Goswami. Then Mahaprabhu said, what did you say? My Advaita is like Prahlad or Sukadev. He immediately hit Srivas Thakur. Just like a loving father would chastise his son, would correct his son, like that he just hit Srivas Thakur. And then he said, Srivas, if you call Advaita a living entity, Sukadev Goswami, Prahlad Maharaj, they're living entities. If you call Advaita is like Sukadev or Prahlad Maharaj a living entity, then tomorrow all children will say the same thing. Advaita Acharya was born before all of them, even before Sukadev Goswami and before Prahlad Maharaj. They're all his sons. It is because of Advaita that I have come. And in fact, Mahaprabhu said, Nara. He would call Advaita Nara, like Narayan. So he said, I was sleeping peacefully on the milk ocean, and it is because of Advaita's loud calls that I have come down to this earth. And in this way, when Mahaprabhu glorified Advaita Acharya, Actually, after that, after saying this, he picked up a stick and began to. He was he was he started to run to beat Srivas Thakur. You call my Advaita. After saying all this, he picked up a stick, and then Advaita Acharya immediately held the hand of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and stopped him and said, "My Lord, uh, who is who deserves your anger? You're the most munificent, most merciful avatar. Who deserves your anger? Please give up your anger," like that. So then Mahaprabhu once again in a gentle way began to explain to Srivas Thakur that what is the position of Advaita Acharya. And hearing the glories of Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur became very pleased and he said, "Oh Lord, please forgive me for my offense. I have committed an offense," like that. Then Mahaprabhu began to, and then he also said, "Now because of you, we also have understood the glory of Advaita Acharya. Because you revealed to us, we also understood the glory of Advaita Acharya." Then Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur says, the Supreme Lord takes great pleasure in glorifying his devotees. So, this was on a particular day when the Lord is surrounded by all his devotees like Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur in Jagannath Puri. So, on that day, after this incident, he began to glorify all the Vaishnavas and he was revealing their identity, who was who. They were all eternal associates of the Lord. So, what was their identity? He was revealing. He did this in Navadvip also once in Srivas Angan. So now in Jagannath Puri also he is doing that. He is revealing the identities of his various devotees, who they are in the spiritual world. So then we'll continue from there, what happened after that. I'll just read a couple of lines before this for continuation. Uh, of course, after this, there's a Falashruti for hearing this pastime of how the Lord chastised Srivas Thakur. So, one more thing. Srivas Thakur said that after hearing, he was so pleased. Then he said, after hearing about Advaita Acharya, my respect for him has increased so much. And from today onwards, even if I find Advaita Acharya in a wine shop or with a prostitute, my respect for him will never diminish. So, anyone, and then all of them, Advaita Acharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srivas Thakur, they all sat down once again as before. So here Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur says, anyone who hears this pastime, they will attain Krishna. That means they'll get Krishna Prema. Lord Chaitanya has all power and all devotion. His power begins and ends everything. That means whatever we see, everything is happening by his power. Where there is no power of the Lord means there is nothing. Whatever is there, so his power begins everything and it ends everything. Annihilation is also happening by his power only. He knows everything. A person who knows this sincerely worships Lord Chaitanya. A person who cannot understand these words of Lord Chaitanya describing the truth of Lord Vishnu. Who is Lord Vishnu here? Advaita Acharya. A person who cannot understand these truths of Lord Chaitanya describing the truth of Lord Vishnu cannot understand the truth of the great Vaishnavas either. So if you cannot understand the truth of Lord Vishnu as spoken by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you won't be able to understand the glory of the devotees either. So now we are beginning today's reading. Persons who, not understanding a perfect Vaishnava's sometimes harsh actions. So in this case, we saw Mahaprabhu hit Srivas Thakur, right? Persons who, not understanding a perfect Vaishnava's sometimes harsh actions, criticize that Vaishnava, and who do this, what will happen to them? They suffer in the world of birth and death. So, if we, because we have our calculation in our mind, what is right and what is wrong, and according to our calculation, we start judging Vaishnavas also. So sometimes you see a Vaishnava's so-called harsh behavior. Now, why there is a harsh behavior? What is the purpose behind that? You don't know, because Vaishnavas, you cannot understand uh, what is in the heart of a Vaishnava. So, not understanding, you start judging, criticizing Vaishnava's activities. What will happen to such Vaishnavas who criticize the harsh actions of a Vaishnava? Such people will remain in this world of birth and death. They will not be able to go back to Godhead. That's the point. Yeah, like that student of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. uh, he criticized Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, that was not a harsh action. Well, the other students, okay, the other students. I remember once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in Grihastha ashram, he was chanting the names of gopis, Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. So one student saw this and he said, Nimai Pandit, why are you chanting the names of gopis? This is not according to Shastra. You should chant the names of Krishna. So because Mahaprabhu was not in external consciousness, he was completely in the internal bhava. So when he heard that you should chant Krishna's name, he said, Krishna, that debauchee, that cheat, you asked me to chant his names. And then he picked up a stick and started running after the student. Now, this is kind of a harsh behavior, running with a stick after a student with the intention of beating him. Now, the student somehow ran away for his life and he went and told his other students, other friends. What did they do? They all criticized Nimai Pandit. Who does he think he is? If he is a Brahmana, we are also Brahmanas. How can he act like this? The next time he'll behave like this, we are going to beat him up like that. So this type of behavior, when you see so-called, right, harsh behavior of a Vaishnava, or in this case, Mahaprabhu striking Srivas Thakur, so-called harsh behavior, if you see, and you criticize that Vaishnava, then you will remain in this world of birth and death. It's very serious. Persons who do not who, not understanding a perfect Vaishnava's sometimes harsh actions, criticize that Vaishnava, suffer in the world of birth and death. Therefore, please see the harsh actions of a perfect Vaishnava to be like his most eloquent words of teaching. Yes. Ah. Whether it is to others or whether it is to yourself. Sometimes we get chastised and corrected by Vaishnavas. Huh? When Vaishnavas chastise us, that is actually their mercy. But we are not properly tuned in, so therefore, because we are not tuned in, we are we are thinking about it from a material perspective. Our false egos get hurt, and then we take offense. So personally also, if you think that who does he think he is, or who does she think she is, to instruct me like this, or to correct me like this, or to even, you know, depends on the intimacy of relationship, even to hit, and then you don't make progress. Whereas, and also if you're a third party, you see one Vaishnava criticizing, not criticizing, chastising, correcting another Vaishnava, then also what is Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur's um, instruction to all of us, advice to all of us? His harsh words, his chastisement, you look at it like the most eloquent words. When you hear very sweet speech, what do you feel? It's very pleasing to your heart, isn't it? You hear something very sweet. So most eloquent, like someone says a nice poetry, very, very nicely composed. You become so happy. Wow, very nice. You glorified, right? So Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying, when you hear the harsh words of a Vaishnava, you should see it as the most eloquent words. I'll tell you one thing. Uh, there is one picture of Srila Prabhupada, you must have seen it also, in which he looks very serious, like just only Srila Prabhupada's picture, and he's like that, very kind of very angry, kind of not angry, but very serious, very serious. So at that time, uh, one devotee, not at that time, maybe after that, one devotee said, Srila Prabhupada, uh, you looked very angry in this. Were you really angry? Something like that. So Srila Prabhupada said, that was the most ecstatic moment for me. So when they are in great anger is also an ecstasy for them. But we judge it according to our level of understanding. Because we are on the mundane platform, we project that on the Vaishnavas who are on a much higher platform, not just on the spiritual platform, they're on the devotional platform. So it's out of our jurisdiction to judge a Vaishnava. That's the point. What kind of a Vaishnava, that we should not judge. If we do, it's already said, we will just remain in this world of birth and death. So, therefore, please, he's actually requesting, please see the harsh actions, not just words, even actions, right? See the harsh actions of a perfect Vaishnava to be like his most eloquent words of teaching. Just like Krishna, when Krishna kills a demon, that's also his mercy, his affection, because he needs that type of treatment. And to a devotee, he goes and embraces, that's also his mercy. But from a materialistic platform, we will think, oh, Krishna loves this devotee. He hates that person, that's why he killed. Actually, he doesn't hate anyone. So just like Krishna, like father, like son, his Vaishnavas are also like that. Depending on what type of treatment that disease needs, they give that type of treatment. Sometimes they'll give chastisement, sometimes they'll give affection, sometimes they'll give glorification. But everything is their mercy. You should see everything as their most eloquent actions or eloquent words, right? Not that one is good and one is bad. Bhrigu Muni, who was the foremost of Vaishnavas, who was Brahma's son, Bhrigu Muni, and who uh, day and night meditated on the Supreme Lord's feet. So this is Bhrigu Muni. He was a Vaishnava, foremost of Vaishnavas. And what type of a Vaishnava? Day and night he is meditating on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. What did he do? He kicked the Supreme Lord's chest. Huh? So, what type of action is that? So if somebody chastises Bhrigu Muni, he he kicked on Lord Vishnu's chest. My God, what an offense! What kind of a person? But he's such a great dude. He's a Vaishnava. So, of course, it has to be a Vaishnava. Huh? Not that some demon rascal he does that and we say, no, for a Vaishnava. That is why what type of a Vaishnava is Bhrigu Muni? Every moment, day and night, is meditating on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. He is the foremost of Vaishnavas. Such Bhrigu Muni went and kicked on the chest of the Lord. Even so, please see him as the best Vaishnavas. And you see the example, learn it from the Supreme Lord himself. How did Lord Vishnu treat him? When Bhrigu Muni kicked him on the chest, what did Lord Vishnu do?
Press the third eye.
He took his
Press the
lotus.
eye underneath of the feet.
Yeah, he said, oh, your feet are so soft like flower petals. My heart is like a, vajra, very hard like a stone. So by kicking on my chest, your soft lotus feet may have gotten hurt. And then he started massaging his feet. So he is showing how, even if a Vaishnava acts in a harsh way, how you should respond. How you should respond like that. The Lord himself is setting example. So here Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying, even so, please see him as the best of Vaishnavas. Please hear Srimad Bhagavatam's account of how Bhrigu Muni fulfilled his desire. So now we'll read the story, the pastime, how Bhrigu Muni fulfilled his desire. In ancient times, many great sages met on the bank of the Saraswati to perform great yagyas and hear the Puranas. So, sages often did that. they would come together and they would do this satra, like they will come together, satra yaga. They'll come together and they will decide for this much time. We all the sages will together sit and they will discuss from the shastra. They will discuss. Yeah, one person will be speaking, other person will be hearing. I mean, the group of devotees, sages will be hearing, and then they will inquire. Just like we have Srimad Bhagavatam. Before Srimad Bhagavatam, what was happening in Naimisharanya? Sutta Goswami and Shaunakadi Rishi.
All the rishis were listening to.
Yeah, they were, before even Sutta Goswami came, they were there. They
They
have
were there
already gathered to do this
together.
1,000 years sacrifice. Yes. So what is the purpose? And even in the Mahabharat's case also, Mahabharat was first spoken by Vaishampayana Muni to Janmejaya. After the Sarpayaga, Vaishampayana Muni spoke Mahabharat. So Janmejaya asked questions, and in answer to those questions, Vaishampayana Muni spoke the Mahabharat, and Sutta Goswami was in the audience. Just like Sutta Goswami was in the audience when Sukadev Goswami spoke to Parikshit Maharaj, Sutta Goswami was in the audience. So again, when he came to Naimisharanya, he repeated, he spoke what he heard there, he told the sages. Similarly, Mahabharata also, Sutta Goswami was present when Vaishampayan Muni was speaking to Janmejaya. Again, he came to the sages of, Shaunakadi rishis. They were gathered. So he came there. So the point is, and they asked him, and he started speaking Mahabharata to them. But the point is, sages often they got together like this to do some Krishna Katha. Why? Because of this, they want to increase the auspiciousness of all people. That's the idea. So this is Sadhu's, uh, this is his compassion for all living entities, right? So they do this Satrayaga. So like this here also, once on the banks of Saraswati, all the sages they gathered, and Brigumuni was also there. Many great sages met on the bank of the Saraswati to perform great yajnas and hear the Puranas. They were all authors of Shastras. So these personalities that gathered, they themselves were authors. Authors means, of course, Puranas are eternal. It's not like Puranas are written by someone. They are eternally existing. And when these sages, they do tapasya to please the Supreme Lord with the desire of bringing the Puranas bringing the manifesting the Puranas. The Puranas are eternally existing, but they are not manifest. When they are very pure, these sages, then the Puranas manifest in their heart. And when the Puranas manifest in the heart, just like to Lord Brahma, how did the Vedas come? They manifested Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavai. In his heart, the Vedas manifested. It's not like he sat down one fine day, in his armchair, and then he thought and he started writing. Not like that. The Vedas manifested in his heart. The Lord, and how did the Lord manifest? When did the Lord manifest? When Brahmaji did tapasya for 1,000 years. So like that, when there is a qualified sage who can do it, then the Puranas manifest in their heart. And when the Puranas and Vedas, when they manifest in the heart, now they will speak. Because in previous ages there was no writing. When it got manifested in the heart, the Guru would speak and the disciple would hear. And then once hearing, it would be with him for life. And then he would speak to his disciples. And then they would keep it for life and they would speak to their disciples. In this way, in a disciplic chain, the Puranas, the Vedas, the knowledge was transmitted from one generation to another, from Guru to disciple. That was the system. So all these personalities who were sitting in that gathering, they were authors of Shastras. That means they were really pure sages and in whose hearts various Shastras were manifested, and then they transferred it to their disciples like that. They all possessed a great wealth of austerity. Yes. They met to discuss the identity of the Supreme. So, what was the purpose of this particular, or what was the agenda, right? Whenever you have a meeting, then there is an agenda why you're holding that meeting. What is it that you want to discuss, and what is the conclusion you want to get? What is your objective? So, what was the objective of all these sages coming together, this particular yagya, gathering. Yeah, yagya. What was the purpose? They wanted to discuss about the identity of the Supreme. Who is the Supreme? There are so many great personalities we see in the scriptures. There's Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Durga Devi, there's Lord Vishnu. So who is the Supreme? So this is their topic of discussion. That's why they got together. So they met to discuss the identity of the Supreme. That assembly of sages considered the question of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So they filtered everyone else. Finally, they arrived at Lord Brahma, Lord
Who is
Vishnu,
the
and Shiva.
best? Who is the best?
Of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who is the best? Some sages said, some of them said, it's not like for us because we are sitting in the assembly of devotees. For us, there is no doubt, right? Ishvara Parama Krishna. Krishna is the supreme. For us, we don't have a doubt. But this is all the sages from different parts of the universe. Different sages
Well,
had different opinions.
still others said Vishnu is the best.
Some sages said Brahma is the best. Others said Shiva is the best. Still others said Vishnu is the best of all. So now there was no uh, uh, same decision, agreement on who is the supreme. And then it's not just like my opinion. My opinion is based on the statements of Puranas, Shastras. So they would quote from this Purana. See, from this Purana we understand Lord Brahma is the supreme. And someone else would say, they will quote Shiva Purana. They say, you see, Lord Shiva is supreme. And somebody else would quote, Lord Vishnu is supreme. So then how would you decide who is the supreme? There's a nice discussion done by this, by Srila Jiva Goswami in Tattva Sandarbha, but we won't do that here because then we will not have time to finish the pastime. So the Puranas all had different opinions. That means the question is, what Srila Jiva Goswami discussed was why in different Puranas you find different personalities and how to understand that. So that is the discussion. So the Puranas all had different opinions. In some places, Purana said Shiva is the best. In other places, they said Narayan is the best. The assembled sages sent Bhrigu Muni to learn the truth. So you go and find out. Bhrigu Muni, you are very, exalted. You are the most saintly person here. We want you to go and find out who is the supreme, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Lord Vishnu. They said to him, O saintly, mind-born son of Brahma. So Bhrigu Muni was not born from a mother. He was directly born from the mind of Lord Brahma. O Bhrigu Muni, O saintly mind-born son of Brahma, you are the eldest, the best, and the wisest of us all. Please go and find an answer to our question. What is my question? Our question? Who is supreme, Brahma, Vishnu, or Shiva? Please break apart our doubt. Whatever you say, we accept as the truth, right? We have full faith in you. You are the wisest person, you are the eldest person, and you are the best. So whatever you decide, unanimously we will all agree. You please go and find out. Hearing these words, Bhrigu went first to visit the demigod Brahma. Arriving in Brahma's assembly, Bhrigu Muni acted very arrogantly before Brahma. So here begins the test. Bhrigu Muni's So what is our topic here? Sometimes Vaishnavas act in a very harsh way, isn't it? Sometimes Vaishnavas act in a very harsh way. Now, can you understand why he is acting? We cannot understand. We will just go by the externals. Just look at this. Bhrigu Muni went to Brahmaji's assembly and he acted very arrogantly before Brahma. Seeing his son, Brahma became very happy when he saw Bhrigu. So Bhrigu is the mind-born son of Brahma. So when Brahmaji saw his son with great affection, my son has come. So he became very happy. He asked about his son's welfare. How are you doing, my son? When did you come? How is everyone? Then Bhrigu, who was Brahma's son, tested his father. So father's affectionate words, he didn't respond with respect. He did not treat his father's words with respect. He didn't see. What do you do? This is culture. Vedic culture is what? When you see your parents, First of all, you have to offer your obeisances to them. Actually, you go and touch your lotus feet, their lotus feet. If not, you just bow down in front of them. This is Vedic culture. Now, I don't know how many people are even doing that. At least in some homes, I see when you come from a long distance, if they don't do every day, at least when you come from a long distance, they go and touch the feet of the mother and father and the superiors. That is Vedic culture. Because when you bow down before superiors, they bless you. And those blessings will carry you a long distance. They carry you through all difficulties. But that culture is being forgotten now. So, uh, so Bhrigu Muni, this is Bhrigu Muni. Naturally, it would be expected when he came in front of Brahma, he would offer his obeisances. He would, even after offering obeisances, we will see in prayers, first they glorify, oh my dear Lord Brahma, you are the firstborn because of you. So, like that. So, you glorify the Brahmaji. That's the way juniors, subordinates should always be obedient and respectful to the elders. And what to speak of his son. So, arriving in Brahma's assembly, Bhrigumuni acted very arrogantly, and Brahmaji, being happy when he asked him about his welfare, he was testing his father, so he did not treat his father's words with respect. He did not offer prayers, he did not act in a humble way, nor did he even bow down before his father, seeing that his son was not respected. Now, you tell me, if you saw this type of behavior from someone who is your subordinate, and this is Vedic culture, it is expected of them, it would be shocking, not just to you, but to the whole assembly. What kind of uh, audacity is this? Right? Like, this is not culture. You would probably like, if Shishupal acted in a certain way, nobody would like such a person. This is a demon, this is a rascal. Now, if Yudhishthir Maharaj, if you saw that type of behavior from Yudhishthir Maharaj, it would be shocking and surprising to everyone. So he was obviously being very disrespectful to Lord Brahma. Now, how did Lord Brahma respond to that? That's the important thing. So, seeing that his son was not respectful, Brahma became angry. He was like fire personified, his heart filled with anger. He was about to burn his son to ashes. Fathers get angry when sons don't behave properly. It's natural. Because father is like a guru, it is his responsibility to teach the son proper etiquette, proper attitude. So then, when the son, if he's misbehaving, father gets angry for the child's benefit, actually, but he shows him anger. This is not right. You shouldn't behave like this. Brahmaji became angry. He was like fire personified, his heart filled with anger. He was about to burn his son to ashes. Seeing his father's form in this way, Bhrigu fled from there. He ran away from there before Brahmaji uh, cursed him or burnt him to ashes. Everyone else there grasped Brahma's feet and begged, Lord, why are you so angry with your own son? Filled with love for his son, Brahma forgot his anger. So he was angry, but once the son left and everyone said, he's your son, you are going to burn him into ashes. And then he's like, what happened to me? Right? And thinking about his son, once again, he forgot all about his anger. He forgot about the misbehavior of his son, and his heart was filled with love for his son. So, filled with love for his son, Brahma forgot his anger. He was like a fire extinguished by water. The nice, sweet words of the other members pacified him immediately. And just remembrance of his son is my son. He became calmed down. Now, understanding the true nature of Brahma, Bhrigu went to Mount Kailash to test Shiva. So he had to find out between Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. So first he went to Brahma. Brahmaji got angry. Okay, now let me see Lord Shiva. So he went to Mount Kailash to test Shiva. Seeing Bhrigu, Shiva was delighted. Now who is Shiva, Lord Shiva? He's the brother, because Lord Shiva also came from Lord Brahma, right? He was born from the forehead of Lord Brahma. And Bhrigu Muni is also born from the mind of Lord Brahma. So to Lord Shiva, Bhrigu Muni is brother. So when Bhrigu Muni came, Shiva was delighted. Oh, my dear brother, you have come. So, accompanied by Parvati, he offered respectful obeisances. Okay, so Shiva was born later. Lord Shiva was born later, first Bhrigu. So, elder brother. So, he offered respectful obeisance, respectful greetings, offered respectful greetings. With the respect of an elder brother, Shiva stood to loving. Sorry. Shiva is elder brother, Bhrigu is younger brother. So, with the respect of an elder brother, so with respectful greetings, right? Because he's after all a Brahmana. So, yes, brother, but still that etiquette is there, right? Brahmana. So, and Vaishnava. So, with respectful greetings, he invited, along with his wife, he went and he was about to go and embrace his brother, like an elder brother. He was going to embrace Bhrigu Muni. With the respect of an elder brother, Shiva stood to lovingly embrace Bhrigu. Bhrigu said, Shiva, don't touch me. You embrace the blasphemers. Because Lord Shiva is with bhutas, pretas, pishachas. He is in the crematorium and he's wearing ashes all over his body, snakes wrapped around his arms and neck, and he's wearing a dead animal's skin on his body as a cloth. So don't touch me. And you embrace the blasphemers. The bhutas, pretas, and pishachas are all untouchable. You give shelter to all those offenders, right? They're untouchable people. Bhutas, pretas, pishachas, and you're always with them, surrounded by them, you embrace them. You give shelter to those offenders. You have strayed from the right path. In what scripture is the rule that one should wear bones and smear one's body with ashes? And you do this, right? If I am touched by you, if I touch you, I will have to bathe. Go away, O king of the ghosts. Brigu spoke these words only as a test. But what does it look like? Right? Looks like a very harsh behavior. True blasphemy of Lord Shiva never touched Brigu's saintly mouth. This was just a test. He was testing. So he looked like, get away from me, don't touch me. Hearing Brigu's words, Shiva angrily picked up his trident. He was about to go and kill Brigu Muni. Forgetting that he was Brigu's elder brother, Shiva became like death personified, right? Shiva, Lord Shiva is Ashutosh, very quickly angered and very quickly pacified. No, both. So he immediately got so angry, he was going to kill Bhrigu Muni. He became like death personified. Shiva picked up his trident to kill Bhrigu. Goddess Parvati at once grasped Shiva's hand. My lord, what are you doing? He's your brother. No, you cannot act like that. Grasping Shiva's feet, Goddess Parvati said, Lord, you are his elder. Why are you so angry with your brother? So again, when he was reminded of his position that he's the elder brother, elders means you have to tolerate, right? It is expected of the younger ones, whether they are sons or your younger brothers or sisters, they will, of course, you chastise them to correct them, and sometimes you have to show them anger, otherwise they don't take you seriously. But in your heart of hearts, you won't hate them, and many times you just tolerate, right? Only when there is a need of correction, then you correct. At least this is the expected behavior from superiors. Superiors are meant to tolerate, and also to teach them, but tolerance. There's no question of, out of anger, beating them up and killing them. No, that's not at all the position of superiors. So Lord Shiva is the elder brother, and okay, younger brother misbehaved, you correct him. This is not the way to act, this is not right, but you tolerate. Not that you get so angry, you go after them to kill them. So when Parvati Devi said, my dear Lord, you are the elder brother, as soon as she said, you are the elder brother, Lord Shiva realized, oh, what was I doing? He felt embarrassed about his action, what he was going to do. He felt embarrassed. Just like Lord Brahma also felt embarrassed, right? Or at least he forgot his anger, Lord Brahma. So grasping Shiva's feet, Goddess Parvati said, Lord, you are his elder. Why are you so angry with your brother? Embarrassed by the goddess's words, Shiva stopped. Then Bhrigu went to Vaikuntha, the abode of Lord Krishna or Vishnu. At that moment, so ho gaya, Brahma ji is tested, Lord Shiva is tested. Finally, Lord Vishnu.
Vishnu.
One thing you should note is the offense is also increasing, right? For exponentially. First, the offense to Lord Brahma was he just didn't pay respect. Offense to Lord Shiva is he is actually blaspheming him verbally. He said, "You are with ghosts, get away from me," right? So now let's see what is the offense to Lord Vishnu. Uh, then then Bhrigu went to Vaikuntha, the abode of Lord Krishna. At that moment, the Supreme Lord reclined on a jewel couch, jewel sofa.
As Goddess Lakshmi.
Yeah. As Goddess Lakshmi served his graceful feet. He is laying down and Lakshmi Devi is massaging his lotus feet. This was the scene when Bhrigu arrived in Vaikuntha. At that moment, Bhrigu suddenly came and kicked the Supreme Lord's chest. He kicked him, the Lord, in his chest. Seeing Bhrigu, the Supreme Lord at once rose, got up. Cheerfully, affectionately, and respectfully, he bowed down before Bhrigu Muni. So, this is the Lord's response to Bhrigu Muni's kicking his chest. Cheerfully, affectionately, and respectfully, he bowed down before Bhrigu Muni. Just one point here. The we can speak philosophy, here study and tell so many pastimes, stories, philosophies, but really how advanced I am, that will be shown in my attitude. So there's a statement in Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada says, the greatness of a devotee is tested by his ability to tolerate provoking situations. The greatness of a devotee is tested or estimated. The greatness of a devotee is estimated by his ability to tolerate provoking situations. Now, what to speak of tolerating? If you simply tolerate and keep quiet, that itself is a great achievement. And look at the Supreme Lord. He was not just tolerating and keeping quiet. He, as opposed to the type of reaction which a person would naturally spontaneously get, if somebody kicked you in your chest, your immediate reaction would be like, what are you doing? And forget that, cheerfully, affectionately, gracefully, he is greeting Bhrigu Muni. So now, what is Bhrigu Muni's purpose here? To find out who is the greatest. He saw Lord Brahma, he saw Lord Shiva, now he's seeing Lord Vishnu. Who was more tolerant? That's what you have to say. And what type of tolerance is this? Simply tolerating and keeping quiet, that would be a great achievement for us if we can just tolerate when somebody is blaspheming us, criticizing us, even not physically attacking, but just blaspheming, criticizing. And if we just keep quiet, that's a big achievement for us without defending and without saying something back. What to speak of being so nice to the offender and being very cheerful in front of them, being very affectionate to them. So cheerfully, affectionately, and respectfully, he bowed down before Bhrigu Muni. Accompanied by Goddess Lakshmi, the Supreme Lord then happily washed Bhrigu's feet. Then the Lord offered, just like as soon as a sadhu would come, a sage would come,
Sandal
how
faced.
would you receive them? The Lord is doing everything as if nothing happened, as if, his kicking, he didn't even count that. Immediately, oh, come, please sit. And he's washing his feet along with his wife, like Lord Krishna did with Rukmini when Sudama Brahmana came, right? Someone is fanning him and he's washing. Lord Vishnu did the same thing, accompanied by Goddess Lakshmi, the Supreme Lord, then happily washed Bhrigu's feet. Then the Lord offered Bhrigu a sitting place on an opulent throne. With his own hand, the Supreme Lord anointed Bhrigu's limbs with sandal paste. Although Bhrigu had acted like an offender, the Supreme Lord begged
Sandal
forgiveness
faced.
for what he thought was his own offense. I mean, for myself, I can say that that day when I would think like this, like even if somebody had offended, huh, if a person, an offender, or an offender comes, and wholeheartedly I will be able to wholeheartedly. There's one thing, sometimes externally you may be nice, but that pain is there in the heart, right?
Of course.
Sometimes we are, because we cannot act uh, nastily. uh, so even if the offender comes, you act nicely to them, and you just put up a smile and you talk to them. Okay, but are you doing it wholeheartedly? Maybe at the time you're doing, maybe it's possible. Of course, depending on how advanced you are, right? An advanced devotee doesn't even count. That is why, a Vaishnava, however big offense you do, if you simply go and bow down before them and say, I'm sorry, Vaishnava will forgive. Because they don't hold anything in their hearts. They don't hold anything in their hearts. And usually, even if you don't hold anything in your heart, but at that moment, that is difficult. The moment when you're offended, not reacting at that moment, that's what shows a person's advancement. Uh, yes, Aditi Lata Mataji.
Mataji, I wanted to remind remember Janardhan Maharaj's one text which I received in the group text. He said that when someone, it was forwarded from him, when someone actually hurts you or harms you in any way, you should be more thankful to that person or gratitude to that person that he is your best friend, that he is actually reducing your karma.
Yeah.
That's what we should be thinking instead of thinking, oh my God, he's so bad. We should be more thankful to that person.
Yeah, I mean, it is really nice to hear. I'm waiting when I will actually apply that in life, you know. Yeah.
I'm trying to, although it's not that I'm successful, but when I'm getting angry or upset about, someone saying something, especially in office and all those stuff. So then I'm trying to think, oh, that person. I'm not saying that I'm becoming very friendly to that person, of course not. But at least I'm calming myself by thinking that, oh, this is actually reducing my karma. So it's actually beneficial for me.
Yes. Yes, Mataji. Nice. Vindhyavali Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. 1 in 100, I think we can find that kind of a person. See, I like Brahmani. Very fast we get angry, but later on we might think, no, we should not be just, let us not react.
Yeah.
But that comes later. First,
later, exactly.
You will get angry.
Yes.
That is the thing. We shouldn't be reacted right away. Right away reactions are very bad.
Yes.
When you are angry, your reactions will be very bad. So, and you just wait few minutes. That's why they say, count 10. That if you count 10, little bit time you'll get. So that then you think differently.
Yeah.
It will give a little bit time, but it's very, very hard.
Hard, yes.
We had very hard to come across that kind of person.
And
only
here is a
Vishnu, Krishna can do that.
Exactly. They don't even get angry. That's the point. There's no question of getting angry.
But I don't know whether you heard that Lord Venkateswara's story. When this thing happens, Lakshmi walks away from there.
Yes,
because I am there in your chest. He like that. Yeah. She won't say anything. He didn't say anything. That's why she feels very, very hard, and she feels very insulted like that. I am in your chest, and he there.
Yes.
So she just coolly walks away.
Yeah.
And he comes. That's how the Lord Venkateswara story comes.
Yes,
but that is really something. Actually, men may not be angry that much. But ladies, we do. If they say to them also, not only us, they tell them men also, we feel bad. We feel angry. See, suppose they say something to her husband, no. They might be quiet. They might be calm.
Yeah.
But we cannot take it.
Yeah.
That is A lot of things are there, Mataji. This anger
That's
makes
actually good, actually. Like, because wife is a maidservant of the husband. So
yeah,
if your master is offended, if you simply stand and watch, that's actually wrong. You must say something. That's
that's
there.
it. And especially he hated the chest. They wear
But Mataji,
Lakshmi's.
I was thinking in another angle that Prabhupada said that women, Shudra, and all those, they are on Naratmas. That's why we don't have bread.
We don't have to.
That's why we don't have bread. We are lower grade people now. That's why we react like that.
What? I
Okay, we
couldn't hear.
react like that because we are low. Yes.
Women, Shudra, and all those. That's why
I mean,
we
that is
react like
there.
that without thinking.
That is there, but on the other hand, women are also, uh, you know, remember we were reading about the
They
qualities,
say they are
feminine
Lakshmi.
qualities.
Woman is Lakshmi and he is
Yeah.
Vishnu. Like that they say. They compare both husband and wife. Either of them, it happens. It's not right.
Yeah.
But practically, Mataji, women are actually, because of their nature, their degraded nature only, it's like that. Actually, if you see, men are more tolerant.
Calm. Yes, that's true. That's true. Wise. Although, although Brigu had acted like an offender, the Supreme Lord begged forgiveness for what he thought was his own offense. The Supreme Lord said, I did not know you were coming, therefore I
Yeah.
offended you. Please forgive me. How I offended you? I didn't receive you. I should have come to the door, right? Knowing that you're coming, I should have arranged for your welcome, with music and everything, and, welcomed you with nice pomp. But I didn't even realize you were coming because here I was, nicely relaxing. And so it's my offense that I didn't receive you properly. And you gave a proper punishment. Please forgive me, like that. The Supreme Lord said, I did not know you were coming, therefore I offended you. Please forgive me. Uh, the sacred water that has washed your feet, that makes the pilgrimage places holy. Okay. The sacred water that has washed your feet makes the pilgrimage places holy.
Holy.
You are so exalted. See, now the Lord is glorifying Brigumani. You are so exalted that the water which washes your feet becomes so sacred that that water makes all pilgrimage place. So you go to a particular place, holy place, there is Ganga. So when you wash your feet in that, because of your feet's water, now that whole place becomes holy. He's saying, the Lord is saying. By now, actually,
Give
this is
me the
also true.
water.
This is also said that Gangaji, that we are running out of time. So many stories are there.
They're so good to hear. You won't find any time.
Yeah.
We're not able to keep a track of the time. That stories are so good to hear.
Yeah. So I'll quickly tell this. So Gangaji, when she was asked to come down to the earth, she didn't want to come because she said, "Oh, all these people, simple people, they will come and they will take bath in my waters, and how I'll get rid of all those sins." So then the Lord says, when the pure devotees come and they take bath, then all your water will be purified. All the sins will just disappear by the pure devotees coming and taking bath, like that. So same thing here also. The Lord is saying that Brigumuni, when the water that washes your feet, it makes the pilgrimage places holy. That means they become free from whatever contamination they have. By now giving me the water from your feet, you have purified all the universes and demigods who stay in my body. So your water that has washed your feet, I have
Approximately.
sprinkled on my head. And in my body, all the demigods and all the universes are there. So your water has purified not just me,
God,
all the universes and all the demigods.
your
Everyone became
actions.
purified. And you are so merciful, you gave that water to
These are
purify
your
all of
actions.
us. So by now, giving me the water from your feet, you have purified all the universes and demigods who stay in my body. These are your actions. I'm very happy that I now have your dust footprint on my chest. Because Brigumuni kicked, that mark stayed on the chest. So I'm very fortunate that I got the dust of your footprint on my chest. Now I have a proper place. Maybe this is where Goddess Lakshmi became offended. Now I have a proper place for Goddess Lakshmi to stay on my chest. She can stay on the footprint. The Vedas will call your footprint on my chest by the name Shri Vatsa. Hearing the Supreme Lord's humble words and seeing that the Lord was completely beyond all lust, anger, greed, and illusion, the great sage Bhrigu became filled with wonder. Right? My God, how can a person be like this? Embarrassed, he did not lift his head. Now, of course, he did it as a test, but nevertheless, he actually did it, isn't it? He kicked the Lord. And then when the Lord was so great, he felt embarrassed. He wouldn't lift his head out of shame. Bhrigu's actions were not ordinary. Please know without doubt that his actions were inspired by ecstatic devotion. Again, just a reminder why we are discussing this pastime. The harsh actions of a devotees, you should look at the harsh actions as the most eloquent speech, it is said by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. Bhrigu Muni kicked the chest of the Lord. So, but what is being said here? His actions were not ordinary. His actions were inspired by prema, ecstatic devotion. With love and faith, Bhrigu gazed and gazed at the Supreme Lord. My Lord, you're so great, right? He gazed and gazed at the Supreme Lord, filled with the nectar of pure devotion. He began to dance. He laughed, trembled, perspired, fainted, and roared. The hairs of his body stood erect. Brahma's son Bhrigu was plunged in the nectar of pure devotion. He said, Krishna is the Lord of all. He is the life of all. Speaking these truths, Bhrigu Muni danced. Seeing Lord Krishna's peacefulness and humbleness, who would not attain ecstatic love and devotion for him? So the Lord doesn't even have to say anything. Just by his personality, just by his nature, seeing that, one becomes a pure devotee. Like Bhrigu Muni, of course, he was already a great Vaishnava.
But that story might be wrong in the film, actually. They say when he is washing his feet, Bhrigu Muni's feet, slowly he presses his third eye.
Yes.
Then his anger goes right away.
Yes, yes.
Because that eye is the one he has more, what do you call it? Anger person.
Yes.
So that's what they say. Is that correct?
Mataji, we cannot say one is right and one is wrong because you have various versions of one pastime. Pastime has different versions. Like in one kalpa or in one particular yuga, the pastime can happen in a certain way, and in another yuga or another kalpa, there will be the same pastime with some slight differences in details. So it's not that one is right and one is wrong. Yeah.
I never knew that each kalpa it will changes.
It does. They have, and it's not changes. They are there eternally. So one kalpa, this one is manifest, another kalpa, another one is manifest, and there are many. That is why we cannot fit everything in our mind. Our mind is tiny, and the Lord's pastimes, His creation, and everything is unlimited. So yeah, this is a fact.
When Bhrigu Muni said, when you're saying Bhrigu Muni, that reminded me Brahma. When he goes to Vishnu, he says, I am Brahma came. He tells the doorkeepers. And then they say, Brahma came. Which Brahma? I am the Brahma, four-head Brahma. That 1,000 heads Brahma were there. So that's how I remember that story, suddenly.
Okay,
Thank you very much,
Mother. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Tomorrow we'll read Sutta. Hare Krishna.